Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined as always by Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we've got a bunch of games here on Tuesday night for you, an 8-game slate. In this one, we're taking a look at the Thunder and the Dubs, who do have Steph Curry back, coming off a somewhat befuddling loss to the Lakers, who are kind of good right now. So we'll see how that goes. They are our other game video as well, as they're taking on the Grizzlies tonight. So make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Also check out our player props that we're bringing you each and every weekday. Also want you to head to thelines.com. You can check out all of our great written content in the NBA and more this season. Right now, we are full swing on the NBA as we are coming down the stretch here. Plenty of player props all over the site for you guys each and every day. Also want you to check out that odds finder tool we have up there. You can make sure you're getting the best juice back on all these bets you're making. Really easy to see what the odds are from all these sports books giving you guys bets this season. Nate, let's go ahead and jump into this 8-game slate here and then talk about our game with the Thunder and the Dubs.
Yeah, we got Washington -7 at Detroit and Milwaukee -7 at Orlando. Then an intriguing one, Philly +2 at Minnesota with the Sixers on a back-to-back. Hornets are +10 at the Knicks, who might be without Jalen Brunson, but Emmanuel Quickley suddenly the favorite for Sixth Man of the Year. I know we both hit Malcolm Brogdon, hoping the body of work is greater than Quickley's last couple weeks. But Nets are -6 at Houston. The Warriors we will talk about here, -4.5 at OKC, 243 total. Jazz +9 at Dallas with a total up to 237. And then the Grizz, a pick 'em basically at the Lakers, totals at 225. We break that one down for you in a separate video. This one I feel pretty good about. I mean, the Warriors, we know about their road woes, 6 straight road losses against teams that are all in playoff position in the West right now, including 2 in a row to the Lakers. Their last road win, Josh, at OKC with Steph Curry going for 38 and 12 and hitting 8 threes. And the river returns here against the team that they have routinely beat up because OKC, I mean, often has not been trying to win games. We don't really know where their motivations are at right now. I mean, they sat Shea for a few games, and he's back, and they did beat the Jazz, which is a key win for trying to move back in that play-in tournament, but right now they're out of it. And the key here, I mean, Kendrick Williams is out, who's a kind of an underrated defensive piece for them. Jalen Williams is legitimately questionable. He's coming off a career-high 32 to get them that win. They're no longer just the SGA show, and the SGA show doesn't work against the Warriors, first of all. I mean, 7 games with the Thunder against the Warriors, averaging 20 points a game, which is way down for him. 104 offensive rating, way down. His turnovers almost as high as his assists, and he's a -55 in his last 3. So the Warriors will thrive on that kind of, you want to play one-on-one with us. We will have Draymond sit at the back and call out the defense like a quarterback, and we'll force you into bad situations. And so if even more is on his shoulders because Jalen Williams isn't playing, I love that matchup for the Warriors defense. And was it just recently that Draymond kind of called out his teammates publicly about, the effort they're putting in defensively, the want to? So we'll see if they respond with that, because in this 6-game loss span, I mean, the Warriors offense has still been there. It's just like an atrocious defense, giving up 125 a game, giving up the most assists a game in those losses. But the Thunder, not really a spread it around assist team. They are limiting second chance, points off turnovers. That's what you want to see. And they're hitting threes. Like I said, the offense is flowing. Of course, you have Steph Curry back. That's going to help. And now you have point Dante DiVincenzo, whose role is basically just to cut, get the ball, move, and then find one of these sharpshooters for easy looks, which he was doing down the stretch. And that's why we're both confused. Like, how did they actually lose to the Lakers? It was working. But yeah, I mean, I don't think they have better splits than against the Thunder here. It is a get-right matchup. Like I said, 8 straight wins, 7-1 against the spread, hitting 21 threes on 48 attempts at a 43% clip, 35 assists per game, and then holding the Thunder to just 102. So and that margin of victory is 21.5 here. And we're talking about a 4-point spread. 8-point win the last time they were in OKC. I feel pretty good about the spread here. Feel pretty good about the Dubs.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. I'm just a little bit shook from that loss last game, but they came out flat. And every time that they needed they got within, let's say 6 to 8 points. AD just brought it right back to double digits, and I think he's going to do that again against the Grizzlies, as we talked about in that video. In this one, yeah. Eight in a row. They own this team. There's a little bit of a mental edge going on here. There has to be. It sounded like SGA was going to have his minutes restricted a bit because he was coming out of the COVID protocol over the weekend, and he also had a bit of a hip thing. And then he scored 38 points on Sunday in their win over the Jazz, and he played 37 minutes. So I don't really know if they're shutting him down or not, but the mind games of the injury report continue for the Oklahoma City Thunder. If they have everybody in this game, and that definitely includes Jalen Williams, who's a freaking stud. Love that dude. And you called a bunch of his stuff the other night, by the way, as well, to win us a bunch of money on those player props. But in this one, like, I don't know. I think that it's really the best bet here is just the Dubs, to be honest with you. 242 points is absolutely absurd, as we know. And it's not like these teams are incapable of doing that, as they've done it twice this season, getting into the 248, 255 range there in those two games, one, home and home. So, but you look at last season, it was a lot different. I'm not really looking at last season. Obviously, much different teams. They went under a ton in those games last season because of the fact that there was nobody playing for Oklahoma City for a lot of the season, and then there was a couple guys missing games. Clay was still coming back from injury at that point. Whatever. Point is like this is a new era. There's going to be points. I don't know if there's going to be 242 of them, but I believe in what the Dubs have been doing as of late. Not great defense on the road. We know that, but they have been limiting things like points in the paint, second chance points. They've been getting a lot more of those dirty, play, sort of scrappy plays, if you will, and hustle stats that they were missing for a while, which is surprising because Wiggs still hasn't really been playing at all, just once in the last 10 games. So this is a direct, result of someone like Dante DiVincenzo, not only being point Dante, but he's a Swiss Army knife because he's also had a game with 10 boards in the last 8 games, right? And then he's had a game with 10 assists and his career high as well. Actually, I think it was 11. So I love what he's bringing to their team because they needed sort of almost like a Pat Connaughton type, if you will. You can shoot threes and you can sort of, handle the ball a bit, but you also have that athleticism to really, help out down low a little bit more and be almost like Mikal Bridges light, if you will. So from that standpoint, I think that's why they've been a little bit better on defense and getting those stats that they were getting crushed in when it came to just hemorrhaging points in the paint. Draymond is a guy I really want to take in player props tonight because of the fact that he also plays so well against this team. There was a couple, he got hurt a little bit in the LA game where he had to miss a few minutes before he came back because it was an injury to his finger that he's had for a while now. And he's just probably going to have it despite that he's playing through a lot of pain. He's going to keep playing. He's not going to miss any more time down the stretch. They really are. I think they do see this as still an opportunity for them to be able to compete in the Western Conference playoffs. So I think this is a game they know they can't afford to lose. The way that they go sort of back and forth, I know it's a road game, but with everything in their favor here against OKC, I think this is a good opportunity to take them to cover 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's the way OKC defends them that's so troubling. Is I mentioned the stunning amount of 3-point attempts, which when you're giving those up to the Splash Brothers is to say a high percentage of makes. And against all opponents in their last 7, they're giving up the 6th most attempts. So it's just not disciplined enough. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but when Steph Curry's out there, he's probably going to get him or his teammates a good look from 3. And then the Warriors are just shutting them down. 29% from 3 for OKC, hitting under 10 per game. So simple math. If you're going to hit on average 11 more threes than the other team, you should be able to cruise to victory here. And the rebounding numbers have not been great from OKC either. Like I mentioned, Kenrich Williams is their small ball 5. This is the guy you're going to need against the Warriors. Definitely, if Jalen Williams misses, you should hit this immediately. But I think either way, the Warriors, they need this win. Like you said, they're just holding off. They need to hit another gear right now, not just for the standings, but just for that feeling of confidence because they're going to be on the road in the playoffs, and these home road splits have got to be troubling internally. When you think about that, they're going to have to start treating it like a playoff situation to prove to themselves that they can get road wins when they need to.
100%. Yeah, I fully agree. It's one of the crazier stats of all time right now, to be honest, that they've won 7 games on the road. And that means that the bulk of their wins have come at home, something like 25, 26 wins. I don't know where you're going to see that again. I thought it might stop at some point. But I think in this one, once again, the fact that the Dubs are playing the Thunder, I'm just going to take that to trump whatever weirdness has been going on for them on the road. As you said, especially if Jalen Williams doesn't play. What a crazy thing to say, that if rookie Jalen Williams doesn't play, that this team isn't going to be nearly good enough to beat the Dubs, but I believe it. So that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along. Also have another game video and our player props up for you guys. So until we see you next, happy betting.